You can throw boom at the same time. As he punches, boom, you go down.
Absolutely.
It's all about moving after you punch. As soon as you punch, you're gone.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog. There's no doubt about it. He showed that.
Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways.
Mike Tyson has finally spoken out after joining Gervonta Tank Davis in the gym ahead of his highly anticipated fight against Jake Paul, and the boxing world can't stop talking. Tyson, who's been closely mentoring and observing Tank sessions, expressed his excitement over the star's impressive new form. Davis has returned to training looking more powerful than ever, showcasing a noticeably bulked-up frame that shocked fans and experts alike. With thicker arms, a sharper upper body, and his trademark explosive speed still intact, it's clear Tank is treating the showdown with extreme seriousness.
Can't really tell, but when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino out there. And I think that is the idea for him to bulk up and be a little powerhouse out there. And I'm all for it. I'm going to tell you in this video why I think that's the best thing for Tank and why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys another workout of mine. Let me be absolutely clear with this, all right? I'm not trying to say that I'm a great fighter. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than you. We all know, Lord knows, that all you guys in the comments are Olympic gold medalists. You guys are fantastic fighters, and I can't come close to the level of great technique and great fighting that you are. I'm just working out, all right? And I was definitely trying to hit the bag as hard as I can. I was really working on my hooks more than anything. Now listen, I know that I'm trash, all right? So, just look at it and be like, okay, showbiz trash or whatever. Or if you want to be inspired and you're on a journey like I am, I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to not look like I'm 45 out here, all right, other than the gray and the beard, all right? If you get inspired, please let me know in the comments. Other than that, all you Olympic gold medalists out there, I'm nowhere on your level, all right? But if you want to see it, it's going to be at the end of this video. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis. Listen, the reason why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds is because I think that's his walking around weight. And I have receipts for all this shit. You guys remember, 4 or 5 years ago where he missed weight against Gamboa?
Mike Tyson has finally shared his thoughts on the upcoming showdown between Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul, and his words have the boxing world buzzing. Tyson, who recently spent time training and observing Davis up close, revealed that is leaning slightly toward Tank to win, mainly because of one thing. Pure punching skill, according to Tyson. Davis possesses a rare blend of timing, precision, and raw power that's difficult to teach. Tank's punches are different, Tyson reportedly said. They've got that real snap, that old-school power. The former heavyweight legend explained that Davis can generate knockout force from almost any angle, a trait that reminds him of the fighters from his era. Tyson admitted that while Jake Paul has shown noticeable improvement in discipline and technical ability, Davis's instincts, ring IQ, and explosiveness give him the edge when things get tough. During a conversation with ESPN Stephen A. Smith, Tyson agreed with Smith's blunt assessment that Davis must go for a knockout if he wants to secure victory. Smith pointed out that with Jake Paul's massive fan following, business backing, and the entertainment value surrounding the fight, Tank can't risk letting the decision rest with the judges. He needs to end it clean, Smith insisted. Tyson nodded in agreement, adding that he's seen too many fighters lose close fights simply because they didn't finish strong. Tyson further fueled excitement when he boldly claimed that Gervonta Davis might be a modern-day version of himself, a new Iron Mike built for destruction. After watching Davis's intense focus and determination in the gym, Tyson said he saw flashes of his younger self in the undefeated champion. With that kind of endorsement, the anticipation for Davis versus Paul has reached a
against Davis. What are your thoughts about this upcoming fight?
See, I kind of lead towards Davis a little because of his style of fighting and what makes him different than most fighters that I once did is when he punches, he catapults himself in the air. And normally in the air, you're out of position, have no leverage. But for some reason, myself and Mr. Davis, our best point is when we're leaping in the air, like being catapulted to punch up, because he's not much of a guy that punches down, as we saw with Pitbull Cruz. So what's his name? Pitbull Cruz gave him his hardest fight because
Right.
he was a very aggressive guy, not like Ryan is.
Yeah, you talk about Isaac Cruz. Definitely, he gave it an aggressive fight.
Yes.
But I thought that particular fight, Gervonta showed me boxing skills that I didn't even realize he had because, Pitbull comes at you and he's very good defensively, so he covers himself well. But I thought Gervonta did a great job boxing in that particular fight. Here's what I think. I think this is the kind of fight Gervonta Davis is going to have to get the knockout because Ryan Garcia is taller. Obviously, he's fighting at a catch weight with that dehydration clause and all of this stuff, but he's longer, he's taller, he's got a jab, he uses it to avoid that power that Gervonta Davis is going to give him. He wins the fight. I think the only way for Gervonta to beat him is to knock him out. To that, you say what?
I believe he could beat him if it goes the distance as well.
You think Gervonta can beat him if he goes the distance?
He's going to win the fight, yes.
So you got him winning this fight?
Nakisa Badarian, Jake Paul's business partner and co-promoter, recently admitted that while Jake holds a clear edge in size and power, he can't rival Gervonta Tank Davis' ring experience. Badarian acknowledged that Davis has spent his entire life in boxing gyms, mastering timing, distance, and precision against elite opponents, something Jake is still developing. Jake's bigger and stronger physically, Badarian said, but Tank's been fighting since childhood. His instincts and fight IQ are on another level. He added that although Jake's discipline and progress deserve respect, true experience is earned over time, not learned overnight.
Gen Alpha, they are the two biggest boxers in America, and they are putting it all on the line. One has the speed, the skill, the accuracy, and the one-punch knockout power. The other has the size, the force, and the unbreakable confidence to make this must-see Netflix. The size difference is obvious, but so is the skill and experience difference. One man has been doing this for 23 years, since the age of 7. The other picked up the sport 5 years ago and has virtually no amateur experience. So the size difference is what makes this plausible. The king of the jungle here is Tank Davis. He is the lion taking on the young elephant that is JakePaul. The lion is looking at me like he's about to eat me. The lion is fast, he's fierce, and he's fatal when he strikes. But the young elephant is big, powerful, and hard to knock down. And come Friday, November 14th, the jungle will be set in tropical Miami, Florida, and the world will be watching live on Netflix globally to see who the victor will be. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a victor because the fighters have agreed and the commission has approved a maximum weight of 195 pounds for this exhibition. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds. The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds, and when Tank and Jake enter the squared circle to go to battle, they will be wearing 12-ounce gloves.
Nakisa Badarian confidently dismissed concerns about Jake Paul's size advantage over Gervonta Davis, insisting that size alone won't determine the outcome against a fighter of Tank's caliber. He explained that the heavier catchweight was chosen mainly due to Jake's relative inexperience. Not for any real edge, Badarian also revealed that the Paul versus Davis fight wasn't a sudden move. It had been in discussion for years. After a potential bout with Canelo Alvarez fell through, the long-anticipated showdown with Davis naturally became the next.
And they're talking about it, and whatever it is, there's going to be a definitive outcome. People can talk about pro, exhibition. We're going to make sure this is as real as it's real.
Why was it, just out of curiosity, why is it not a professional bout and why is it an exhibition? Because I'm sure Jake would have taken the professional bout.
Nothing's been communicated as yet in terms of what it is, right? Similar to, if you remember, with Paul Tyson, when we announced it, we didn't have the weight, we didn't have the rules, particularly in terms of the number of rounds, the minutes, the gloves. It's going to be the same thing here.
Gotcha. Can you just offer us any insight as to how these negotiations went? The reason I ask is because I remember back in March, I was at Tank's fight, and after his fight in his press conference, he was asked, next opponent. He said, well, my next opponent might have been in my locker room tonight. And people asked him, was it Jake? He made reference, he made allusion to. Has this been an ongoing thing? And has it ever, been at a point where it wasn't gonna happen and came back, or was this always the plan?
Always been the plan for Jake to fight Tank once Canelo didn't happen. And to Tank's credit, he's a real bad dude, and he's been calling out Jake for 3 years. And people, it's funny how now they're saying size matters, Jake is big, when for so long it's been Tank would kill JakePaul. And now you get to see.
Acknowledging Gervonta Davis' superior skill, Carl Froch warned that JakePaul's size and unorthodox power pose a real danger. He noted that Davis isn't accustomed to taking punches from someone. That heavy Froch's comments echo wider concern in the boxing community, where many view the fight as more spectacle than sport, raising safety questions.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting JakePaul. So JakePaul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially JakePaul. But it now looks like that JakePaul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with JakePaul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Ryan Garcia fiercely criticized the upcoming matchup, calling it completely insane and questioning its legitimacy. He argued that modern boxing is losing its authenticity, comparing it to professional wrestling. Garcia claimed the sport now feels more like WWE than real competition, warning that such crossover fights harm boxing's integrity and make it difficult for fans to view it as a serious, respected sport. Boxing is officially the WWE, he said.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. The best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, in his last fight, MikeTyson, who, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? Why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring, and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, this is another joke. In Jake Paul's career, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. He fights these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't? Allegedly. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has issued a serious warning to Jake Paul about the dangers of facing Gervonta Davis, cautioning that the YouTuber-turned-boxer could face devastating consequences. Be careful what you wish for, Hearn warned, calling the matchup a dangerous mismatch despite its huge commercial potential. While he labeled the fight as a 50-50 spectacle, Hearn emphasized that Paul risks much more than his record in his view. His health and well-being are truly on the line.
Gervonta's going to fight Jake Paul in November, and then we'll see what happens if there's an AJ fight. Be interested to go from Gervonta Davis to Anthony Joshua, but I don't think the Chavez fight is terrible. I think it's a smart bit.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul isn't slowing down. He's raised the stakes by boldly promising to deliver the knockout of the year when he steps into the ring with Gervonta Davis. For Paul, this isn't just another fight, it's a defining moment. His confidence and ambition make it clear he wants more than a win, he wants a statement. Paul's recent comments reveal he sees this matchup as his chance to silence critics, prove his legitimacy, and create an unforgettable highlight in boxing history. By chasing the biggest knockout of his career, he's betting on more than just strength, he's betting on spectacle and legacy.
Because this thing is going to be watched by hundreds of millions globally. Jake, give the people one thing that you can guarantee that they're going to get on November 14th when they tune in to Netflix.
Yeah, you're going to see the two biggest fighters in America go head-to-head with an amazing card. World championship fights back-to-back-to-back. And that's just how the MVP way we do it. And I'm going to come for a knockout of the year again. I've seen it in my visions. I've seen it in my manifestation. I'm sleeping this guy and going to create the most viral knockout ever.
Many boxing fans online have accused Gervonta Tank Davis of dodging elite fighters like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez in favor of a bigger payday against Jake Paul. Critics claim his decision is motivated more by money than by desire to challenge the best. However, others argue that such criticism is unfair and dismissive of his accomplishments. Davis has already proven himself by staying undefeated, winning multiple world titles, and beating top-tier opponents throughout his career. Labeling him a ducker, supporters say, ignores his years of dominance and hard work. Even if financial gain plays a role, it doesn't diminish what Davis has already achieved in boxing.
Stevenson, no Keyshawn Davis, no Teofimo Lopez, no none of them dudes. You know what I'm talking about? We got to think and look at Tank Davis's whole career. He done made some bread, but at the end of the day, all that bread that he made, when it's all said and done, he ain't going to get no respect from his peers, because we going to look down his resume and we going to be like, he was trash, he was some trash, he was some trash, he was all right, but he was never like that. He was okay. He was some trash. He was some trash. He ain't did nothing. Hey, that's just what it's going to be at the end of the day. Get mad, a moment of silence for all of the Gervonta Tank Davis meat bushes that's biting blood out their bottom lip right now. Hold on. Let's have a moment of silence. Everybody, bite blood out your bottom lip. Hey, I know you're mad, but you can't do nothing. Y'all can't do nothing about it.
Fans are calling the upcoming fight a blatant money grab, a spectacle that values profit over pure competition. With its huge size gap and hype-driven promotion, many argue it feels more like staged entertainment than authentic boxing. Critics fear the sport's integrity is being sacrificed for pay-per-view numbers, risking both safety and reputation. They claim boxing has drifted too far from its roots of skill, fairness, and discipline. Celebrity matchups and mismatch opponents, they argue, now dominate the spotlight once reserved for true champions. Instead of celebrating elite fighters and meaningful rivalries, the sport seems increasingly focused on drama, fame, and finance.
Give it to you straight, no chase. In sports, Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul have a fight coming up. I ain't even gonna call it a fight, because it ain't. If Jake Paul's involved in it, it's a great acting job. You know, Mike Tyson could have just knocked Jake Paul's face into the canvas, but he got paid to pull punches. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got paid. I'm pretty sure the same is going for Gervonta Davis. It's a quick money grab. Yeah, most of y'all gonna be suckers who tune in. It's just quick money grab. That's all I'm saying. Ain't gonna be no fight. I don't give a fuck how big Jake Paul is. He can't take one of them little mother tank punches. Yeah, tank move furniture. Move furniture. Catch that motherfucking move furniture. And Jake don't like his furniture move, so he gonna pay him not to hit him again. If you really want to show out Gervonta, sign contract that you ain't gonna hit him, because if you hit him, you lose all the money. And then whoop that motherfucker's ass, put him to sleep, and get him out the boxing game once.
However, these criticisms ignore Gervonta Davis's remarkable achievements. He is a multi-time world champion, undefeated, and known for highlight reel knockouts that display his elite skill. Choosing a high-profile, attention-grabbing...
Casual, but what about the hardcore boxing fans? Won't we stand up and put some value on fighters that dare to be great, that respect the sport of boxing and not just the business of boxing? Ryan Garcia never been a champion. Shout out to Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia never been a champion. Making more money than these guys, Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, right? Ryan Garcia, the less accomplished fighter, was just main eventing in their last fight. Devin Haney was the co-main event, and Teofimo Lopez was playing third fiddle. Where was the hardcore boxing fans' dollars? Where was the hardcore boxing fans' appreciation?